Bien, Nachime, welcome to day 6 or Tonali Chikwase, as we'll soon learn eventually. Today we're going to learn about several things. For example, we're going to learn how to say actions that I do or that you do. For example, I see versus you see versus she sees, a bird or anything like that. We'll learn about the difference between few and many and how to intensify an action. And we're also going to learn how to say there are. Like, there are birds here, there are dogs here. Okay, so these are the sentence types that we're going to learn today. Okay, we've seen before the word tlacuali once, which means food. Tlacuali, something that you eat. Tlacuali. And if I say onca, that means there are, or there is, or it exists. For example, if we're around here and I can say there's food here. There's food. I would say onca tlacuali. The negative for this would be ashonka. There isn't food. Or I could say ashkana onka or amo onka. All those negatives that we've learned before still apply. Ashonka tlacuali. There isn't any food. Amo onka tlacuali. There ain't any food. Okay. Ashonka. There aren't any. There isn't any. Onka chichime. There are dogs. Yeah, I could say here in this picture, onka chichime. There are dogs. Onka totome. There are birds. Onka totome. We've seen the plural me, right? Me that makes things plural, more than one. Onka amochtli. Not onka amoshme because we don't need to pluralize it. Onka amochtli. Onka tlaxcali. There are tortillas. If I ask someone onka tlaxcali, my intonation there makes it the question. Are there tortillas? And someone could say kena onka or ash onka. Yes, there are, or no, there aren't any. Okay, that's onka. Here we have se masewali, one native, or a native. Ome masewalme, two natives. And now we have miak masewalme. So when you don't want to count, you can just say miak, which means many. Miak, some forms, some varieties will say miak. It's almost the same pronunciation, miak, miak. But that's the differences. Miak means a lot or many. So I could say many people. Miak masewalme, many people, or many natives. Miak chichime, many dogs. Miak chichime. Miak mistonme, many cats. Miak mistonme. Miak masame. Miak masame, many deer. Miak masame. Kensin masewalme. Kensin means a little bit. In this case, it'll apply for few. Few people, basically. A little bit of people. Kensin masewal. Kensin. Other varieties will have different words. Rather than kensin, they might say tepitzin, for example, or achitzin, which is more universal. Achitzin is like few. Kensin is like very few. Kensin tlamantli. Okay? Kensin tlamantli. Few things. Tlamantli means things or stuff or types. But more generally, you'll see it as things or stuff. So few things. There's few things here. Kensin tlamantli. Okay, next section. We have yolpactoc. Remember that means happy? Yolpactoc. Tlawel yolpactoc. This is intensifying the action. Tlawel, other varieties say well. Tlawel yolpactoc. Very happy. It's an intensification of the action or feeling. That's tlawel, more intense, okay? Whatever that feeling is, tlawel makes it more intense. Tlawel yolpactoc. Tlawel yolcuesihtoc. Very sad. Depressed, basically. Tlawel yolcuesihtoc. Notice yolpactoc and yolcuesihtoc both have yol. That might make it easier for you all to remember these words. The yol references your heart. Okay, so a lot of feeling emotion words tend to reference the heart. Yolcuesihtoc, yolpactoc. Tlawel amiki. Very thirsty. Tlawel amiki. Again, intensifying that action. Tlawel mayana. That to see is that it's very hungry. Tlawel mayana. In this exercise, I'm pointing out the differences between miak and tlawel. Those two are not interchangeable. Okay, so when we are at the beginning levels, I've seen that be a very common place of confusion. What's the difference between miak and tlawel? They both mean a lot, right? I mean, I'm hungry a lot versus there's a lot of dogs. Well, they kind of sound the same in English, but in Nahuatl, they're different things. Miak is many in quantity, and tlawel is intense, like the action or feeling. So just remember that like that, and it'll make it easier. So would I say miak mayana or tlawel mayana? And remember, mayana means hungry. I would say tlawel mayana. Very hungry. Tlawel mayana. So tlawel can mean like very. Okay, there's a lot of fish. I would say tlawel michime. It would actually be miak. Miak michime. Many fish. Here in this picture, the guy's thirsty. So how would we say that? Tlawel amiki. Tlawel amiki. Tlawel amiki. Okay, the Kali, the buildings, there's many of them here. I can say Miak Kali or Tlawel Kali. It would be Miak Kali. There's many houses. If I'm trying to say that, I would use Miak. Miak Kali. Many houses. Many buildings, many structures. Okay, in this picture, the boy is happy. Would I say Miak Yolpactoc or Tlawel Yolpactoc? The answer would be Tlawel Yolpactoc. Very happy. Okay, next, we're going to learn how to say I see and you see and she sees. So in this question, the question says, Tlen tikita ta. Tlen means what? Ta means you. And tikita means you see. You see. Literally means you see it, in a sense. But we'll learn more about that later. For now, just know that tikita means you see. So tlen tikita ta means what do you see? What do you see? In this picture, the person says, Nani kita miak tlaxcali. Nani kita miak tlaxcali. Nani kita se chichi. Nani kita se chichi. Nani kita se chichi. Nikita se miston. Remember, na's optional. Nikita se miston. Nikita se kali. Nikita se kali. Nikita nochan. Nochan means my home. Nochan. Kita nochan. Nikita se siwatl motlaloa. Nikita se siwatl motlaloa. I see a woman running. Nikita se siwatl motlaloa. Nikita se siwatl tlaqua. See a woman eating. Nikita se siwatl tlaqua. Nikita se weyi wan chichiltik chichi. I see a big and red dog. Iti se weyi wan chichiltik chichi. Now the word order is more free in Nahuatl. So I could say chichi first, meaning like I see a dog, which is big and red. Nikita se chichi weyi wan chichiltik. That's also possible in Nahuatl too. Okay, so at home or wherever you're at, tlen tikitata. What do you see? Try and make up a sentence about something that you see. Use some of the vocabulary maybe that you've known already, and you can comment in the video down below to show us that what you've learned so far. You could say what you're learning. All right, in this exercise, think about what would be the response to what you see. If I asked you, "Tlentikita" or "Tlentikitata," what do you see? What would you say in this case? Here you would say, "Na nikita tlaxcali." Na nikita tlaxcali. Na nikita chichi. Na nikita chichi. It would be here. Na nikita miston. Na nikita miston. Tlentikita. Na nikita sekali. Na nikita sekali. Tlentikita. Na nikita sekali. You could also call this shakali, which is like a hut type of ancient traditional home. Shakali. Na nikita sesiwatl. Motlaloa. Na nikita sesiwatl motlaloa. Na nikita sesiwatl tlacua. Na nikita seweyi wan chichiltik ichi. Okay, so we've seen nikita means I see. Tikita, when I'm asking you tlen tikita, means you see. But kiita would mean he or she sees. So I could ask you, tlen kiita inin siwatl. What does this woman see? And the response would be kiita, which means she sees. We could say kiita tlaxcali. She sees tortillas. Kiita se chichi. She sees a dog. Kiita se miston. The cat. Kiita se kali. She sees a building or a house. Kiita se kali. Se shakali. She sees a house. Kiita se siwatl motlaloa. She sees a woman running. Think about this one. If I asked you, tlen kiita inin siwatl, what does this woman see? Yeah, the easy one would just to say siwatl, woman. She sees a woman. But you can expand the sentence. You can make it describe it as much as you want. You could say, inin siwatl kiita se siwatl motlaloa. That would be a really long way to say it. This woman sees a woman. Oh, actually, tlacua. This woman sees a woman eating. I could say that. Or I could just say, kiita se siwatl tlacua. He sees a woman eating. Kiita se chichi weyi Juan Chichiltic. It could be different people, and the word's going to be the same. Tlen kiita siwapil. What does the little girl see? Siwapil kiita se tototl. Little girl sees a bird. Siwapil kiita se wakash. Wakash means a cow. Wakash. Siwapil kiita patos. Siwapil kiita patos. Siwapil kiita caballo. Siwapil kiita caballo. Siwapil kiita chiltlaxcali. Chiltlaxcali. Remember the enchiladas? Siwapil kiita chilmoli. Chilmoli. Little girl sees salsa. Chilmoli. Siwapil kiita amochtli. Siwapil kiita chichi. All right. And next section, we're going to learn some new actions you can say. Okay, so a big part of Nahuatl is the action vocabulary, the verb vocabulary, the things that you can do. That makes up most of the vocabulary in Nahuatl. In fact, Nahuatl prefers describing things in terms of actions rather than English, which describes things a little bit more in terms of nouns. So they're very important to learn. Here we've got Isa. Inintlacatl Isa. Isa. Little breath. Ich and then sa. Isa. He wakes up. Isa. Ininsiwatl momachtia. This woman studies. Momachtia. Momachtia. You say, ni momachtia. I'm studying. Ni momachtia Nahuatl. I'm studying Nahuatl. Tequiti. To work. Tequiti. General word that means to work. Ni tequiti. I work. Wala. Wala means to come. Come over here. Wala. I can say, Shiwala, come over here. Shiwala, come over. Come over here. Shiwala. Yowi sometimes becomes Yah. Yowi or Yah means to go. So if I tell you go, I would say Shia. Means go. Leave, go. Shia. Shiwala. Shia. Shiwala. Shia. Okay, so here's that example. He's saying ni isa. I'm waking up. Ni isa. Ni momachtia. I study or I learn. Ni momachtia. Ni tequiti. I work or I'm working. Ni tequiti. Ni wala. I come. Niya. I go. So we thought the word yowi changed to yah. So the word to come or to go is one of the few words that does change. It's very rare now that anything will change. It's pretty regular language. So when you change it to I do it, you do it, he do it, she does it, 99% of the time you don't have to worry about it changing. This word does change. So yah becomes yowi. You could say niya, but you wouldn't say ni yowi. At least not in the Huasteca. Other varieties might make it all the same. But in Huasteca, it's niya for when I do it, tiya for when it's you do it, and yowi when I'm saying he does it. Maybe because just saying yah is too short of a word. So they keep it at yoi. He goes or she goes. All right, here's the vocabulary we learned. The words were kensin, miak, tlawel, wakash, patos, caballo. We might have missed caballo, but it means horse. Nikita, Ikita, and Kiita. Ni Isa, ni Momachtia, ni Tekiti, Niyah, and Yoi, and Niwala, which means I come. All right. Tlaskamati no chime, and I'll see you all in the next episode.